Happiness in Theravada Buddhism means healing the restless, inflamed mind. A healed mind is a happy mind that is not dependent on anything outside. This sovereign, peaceful mind is Nibbana, the unimpacted bliss of freedom. Hi, welcome to Karuna channel. Today I'm in this vineyard, part of the wine country, the Mosel wine region, in the southwestern part of Germany. The Mosel wine country is famous for its intense and smooth white wines. The grapes are ripening beautifully and soon it'll be harvest season. While I enjoy this warm, late summer day, I thought it would be only fitting to talk about the topic of happiness from the perspective of Theravada Buddhism, meaning the insights revealed by the noble Buddha that enable us to figure out what happiness is on our own. The Theravada school of Buddhism teaches the unmodified original teachings of the Buddha, and these teachings are preserved in scriptures by the enlightened monks and nuns in Sri Lanka. Buddha's teachings offer deep insights into matters of our daily life, things that we fail to tackle no matter how hard we try on our own. The original discourse of the Buddha, if understood correctly through proper guidance by enlightened monks and nuns, makes life easier for us. That is why many turn to Buddhism for wisdom and guidance. When nothing in the modern world with its latest innovations can keep us happy long enough, we turn to spirituality. Some turn to Buddhism for answers. If you are someone ready to put a sincere effort and a determination to grasping the subtle layers of Buddha's teachings, then this video will be a good starting point for you to explore further the concept of happiness as analyzed in the Theravada Buddhism. One thing you need to know about the unmodified discourse of Buddha is that it is absolutely based on reality and does not come nicely wrapped, which might be painful in the beginning, but it offers complete healing. It might also come across as rather unattractive as compared to the mainstream Buddhism, but I invite you to be brave and to try it out for yourself. As I said in the beginning, happiness from a Buddhist perspective is a state of a healed mind, healed from its by default restlessness, agitation, and desperation. To initiate our healing process, we need to take one significant step, that is, to understand the cause of happiness. From the logics of Buddhism, called dependent origination, happiness originates from a cause, and when this cause has a malfunction in it, the resulting happiness bears the same malfunction. Or in other words, our attempts at happiness result in dissatisfaction or unhappiness, and our minds continue to remain restless and unhealed. Practical application of the dependent origination theory reveals that whatever we experience have a preceding cause that brought the experience into life. Without a cause, nothing results or manifests. This enables us to trace our experiences back to their original causes and to remove malfunctioning causes at their roots so that they don't repeat. So if we are lacking in happiness, it should mean that there is a malfunction or a distortion in the cause of our happiness, and Buddha traced it back to its roots. Two things are key in this phrase, cause of happiness and our happiness. Both of them are interrelated. The cause is created by us, and this cause, if well formed, results in our happiness. The exciting thing to note here is that Buddhism puts us directly in the sovereign role of the creator of our own happiness. But there is a hitch in this. If we, as the creator, are not knowledgeable or are misinformed, what we create will be a distortion to begin with. Let's deconstruct this. To understand the significance of our role as creators of our own happiness, we first need to understand who we are. We, or people in general, are called Pruthakjana in Buddhism, meaning worldly beings. We as worldly beings perceive the world through our five sense organs. We see, hear, smell, touch, and sense the world, and we form thoughts, beliefs, and opinions based on our knowledge of the world. This perception is particular to the limitations that our five sense organs inherently carry with them. According to Buddhism, we are worldly beings with a particular perception of the world with inherent limitations. Buddha declares, we, the creator of our happiness, have a distorted perception of the world because we are ignorant of the fact that our particular perception is hiding the real nature of the world. This statement shakes the very ground upon which our role as creators of happiness stands upon. Now the question is, can we first of all come to terms with such a drastic devaluation of us as worldly beings by the Buddha? If we can, then the rest will be revealed. But many turn away at this point, saying that it is negativity. But if you really want to figure it out, we need to pierce through this seeming negativity. Our ignorance is that we who seek happiness in the world are ignorant of the real nature of the world. This ignorance in us is called moha. The moha leads us to engage with the world thinking that it has the potential to give us happiness. But what it gives us, or what the world contains, is pleasure-inducing objects. As we take pleasure from the world, we mistake it for happiness. This makes the world not only irreplaceable in value for us, but also meaningful in purpose. In other words, the more ignorant we are of this mistake, the more we bind ourselves to the world where pleasure exists. The real nature remains unperceived. Buddha says if we want to create lasting happiness, we need to get rid of our ignorance or our pleasure-based perception of the world. And this has a lot of room for misunderstanding. These are the subtle layers that the Theravada Buddhism contains that only a mind ready to grasp can actually grasp. So let's clear it. I mentioned earlier, happiness from a Buddhist perspective is a state of mind that is not restless, that revels in a calm, peaceful, unimpacted, independent bliss. The pleasure experienced through our five senses, as well as thoughts and ideas and concepts relating to pleasure objects on the other hand, is restless, loud, and dependent. The ignorance leads us to mistake this for happiness. In order to correct our mistake and to free us from this restless effort we call happiness, we need to grasp the nature of the world, as in the nature of the pleasure. The nature of this pleasure is that it is fleeting, volatile, temporary. No effect can last long enough for us to be fulfilled. Because of this nature, we are forced to keep producing happiness each time anew. This production mode in which we function makes us restless, tired, and empty. In Buddha's perspective, the actual unhappiness we feel is nothing else but this restless attachment to fleeting objects and this pressure of effort to produce happiness using the same fleeting objects. We're trying to create happiness while being unhappy. The fault in us as creators of our own happiness is that we take the fleeting, volatile, and temporary effects of pleasure as something we can keep in our possession unchanged. So we continue to regenerate happiness, produce happiness, and consume pleasure in restlessness, tiresomeness, and depletion. So what is Buddha's solution to this vicious cycle? Stop producing happiness. Stop the production. Buddha admits that the world in its real nature has the fullest potential to induce pleasure. That is the reason why we succeed in inventing and proliferating the objects of pleasure that already exist in the world. These pleasures of the world are inherently fleeting in nature, changing in form, and temporary in effect. If we remain ignorant of this reality, then we bind ourselves to the fleeting world with an intense desire that binds us to an endless journey of samsara. The nature of the world is also that it's regenerative. Deterioration is followed by regeneration. This cyclic nature gives us the appearance that when something deteriorates, we only need to create another. In this sense, when happiness deteriorates, we only need to create another. We do feel the fatigue of this endless cycle. That is why we say we are unhappy. And yet we keep at it because that is the only reality we know. This is what Buddha calls worldly suffering, suffering based on ignorance. When there is no restlessness, agitation, or effort, peace, calm, and restfulness emerge. If we take the world of pleasures for what it is, fleeting, temporary, and indeed pleasure-inducing, we are healed from the greed and craving for attachment and possession. We give rest to the mind by letting it know that there is nothing to attach to. Be free. Then the pleasures we experience in the world do not play the same role as before. Instead of indulging in the pleasures out of a desperate need to feel happy, we feel the pleasures in their natural state. They are fleeting, and if unaware, they bind us to an endless samsara. In realizing this, peace emerges. Bliss of freedom is felt, healing is felt.
If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. I hope you can benefit from the content that I present. I'm so grateful for your support. I'll see you soon.